Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Good afternoon. On the national news this hour from Baghdadi Imo Television. First, the headlines. Tinubu closes Buhari's single treasury account, gives directives to MDAs. Fuel marketers clash with NNPC over petrol subsidy. Project petrol at 1,200 naira per litre. FG prescribes 18 foreign universities in Nigeria. Lagos health worker allegedly injects self to death inside Surulere Hospital. We visited Akeredolu'S residence because it stood against Buhari's dictatorial power at Ibanjo. On sport, Al-Hassan Yusuf to replace injured Ndidi. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. President Bola Tinubu's government has instructed all ministries, departments and agencies fully funded by the federal government to remit 100% of their revenues into the sub-recurrent account, part of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. This move is aimed at consolidating federal revenue earnings. The directive, detailed in a December 28 circular from the Finance Ministry and announced on Tuesday, marks a departure from the single treasury account system used during Buhari's administration. This policy is part of the federal government's cabinet broader strategy under President Tinubu to enhance revenue generation and to promote fiscal discipline, accountability and transparency in the management of resources and prevention of waste. Responsibility Act 2007 and any addition by the Federal Ministry of Finance should remit 100% of the internally generated revenue to the sub-recurrent account, which is a sub-component of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. For the avoidance of doubt, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation shall open new TSA sub-account for all federal government agencies, parastatals, listed on the Schedule of Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 and any additions by the Federal Ministry of Finance, except where expressly exempted. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, subject to categorization of agencies, shall map and automatically effect direct deduction of 50% on gross revenue of self partially funded. Fuel prices may go up soon as Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and fuel marketers clashed on Tuesday over prices of the commodities. The Naira's recent downturn trend against the dollar has reignited the debate, with economists and marketers claiming a resurgence of hidden subsidies. The Naira's free fall against the dollar, closing on Tuesday at 998 naira per dollar at the official window and a staggering 1,225 naira per dollar on the black market, prompted the alarm by economists and marketers. The information also shows the CEO of financial derivatives company argues that the subsidy wasn't abolished but merely reduced, leading to a hidden transfer of wealth from consumers to the government. He made this known during a live television program. At the inauguration, it was said that fuel subsidy was gone, but subsidy was actually reduced. But resting his position, he explained, there is the convergence of exchange rates and reducing the windows into one. The consequence of that is that money has been transferred from consumers to the government. The consumers, on the other hand, had a minimum wage, which in dollar terms was $40 in 2002, and in 2019 it was about $70, but it has now been reduced to $24. The federal government has announced the banning of 18 foreign universities in Nigeria over academic certificate fraud and racketeering. The Federal Ministry of Education announced the development on Tuesday. Within Nigeria, Al-Edia reported that federal government suspension of evaluation and accreditation of degree certificates from the Republic of Benin and Togo amid the scandal. The Commission also admonished Nigerians not to enroll in such institutions. The Nigerian government decision was not unconnected to the publication of an undercover investigation by a report which revealed the activity of a degree mill in Cotonou, a major city of Benin Republic. According to the investigation, the investigative reporter acquired a degree from Cotonou University without undergoing the painstaking and rigorous academic process of attaining such educational achievements. He bagged a degree for a supposed 4-year course within 6 weeks and participated in a mandatory 1-year scheme organized by the National Youth Service Corps. The police in Lagos State have begun investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of an assistant nurse who allegedly injected herself to death in an undisclosed hospital. The deceased health worker, simply identified as Victoria, allegedly locked herself up in a one room in the hospital situated in the Surulere area of the state and injected herself to death. The image maker in charge of the State Police Command, Benjamin Udein, confirmed the incident to Nigeria and Nigerians that the investigation had commenced onto the matter. The police spokesperson also stated that the incident was reported at the Surulere Divisional Police Station by a doctor in charge of the hospital. However, at about 5 p.m. on the same day, our phone was heard ringing in one of the rooms in the hospital. All efforts to get the door of the room open were futile until the carpenter was called to break door, and the police spokesperson also added. The leader of the Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization of Ayo Adebanjo has praised late Ondo State Governor Akeredolu for standing against the domination of former President Muhammadu Buhari while he was alive. He asserted that Akeredolu's memory would linger for refusing to cower before Buhari's dictatorial power. The elder statement said this while paying a condolence visit to the residents of the former governor at Jericho Quarters, Ibadan. Adebanjo explained that he paid a visit to residents of Akeredolu not because he was a former governor of Ondo, but because he stood firm against the invasion of Fulani herders when they attempted to take over the West. According to him, Afenifere came here not because he was a former governor of Ondo State, but because of what he stood for and kind of progressive politics he was involved in. He was a great patriot and nationalist who believed in what he said. He is a very courageous and consistent man, particularly when there was the invasion of Fulani herders in the West. He stood firm and called a spade a spade. He said Fulani should get out of the forest where they were hiding to perpetrate evil despite the domination and dictatorial power of Buhari. Moving on to the next story. The Alahide of Akeredolu'S in Akure North local government area of Ondo State, Oba Raphael Ajibola Oluyede Isheoluwa II is dead. He died at the age of 65. The monarch, according to palace sources, died in the United States of America, where he was receiving treatment for an undisclosed ailment. According to palace sources, Oba Raphael joined his ancestors last Friday, and the news of his death would be announced traditionally by 9 a.m. today in Ayede, the Akure North local government area of Ondo State. The late monarch, Oba Raphael Ajibola, was born in 1958. He ascended the throne of his forefathers on December 18, 2021. The staff of office and instrument of appointment were handed over to him by the late Arakori, governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu. During his lifetime, he was a brilliant lawyer who was a personal legal consultant to late Buruji Kashamu and has handled cases involving the former Senate President Bukola Saraki at the Code of Conduct Bureau and others. During his short reign on throne, he has laid the foundation for the greatness of Akeredolu'S in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. To the next story. There is no end in sight over the court killings in Benin City, the Edo State capital, as a young man narrowly escaped from being hacked down by suspected cultists in 2nd East Circular area in Benin on Tuesday evening. The battle for supremacy between suspected members of the Blacks Act confraternity and the rival Supreme Air confraternity, which reportedly started December 24, 2023, has claimed over 30 lives in Benin as at press time. It was gathered that court killings were triggered by the brutal killing of a member of the Air confraternity, simply identified as Lagbaja, whose head was severed on December 22, 2023. The development, according to sources, led to the reprisal attack on members of the Black Act confraternity, whose 3 members were gunned down at Imagbenikaro Street off Siloku Road in Benin by suspected Air members on December 24, 2023. The victims, Efosa Osawaru Culture, a Russia-based tattooist, and Akeredolu'S, alongside other members, were reportedly escaped with various bullet wounds, were said to have been having merriment at a certain house at Ibamekolon when the assailants alleged to have disguised as police officers with AK-47 rifles struck. This is after some viral voices known where the Black African fraternity members and supremacy members are vowed to avenge the killing of the members and declared unending war on each other. Apparently, as a result of the war declaration, tension was heightened on New Year Eve at Eco-Southern community in Ovie, northeast local government area of the state, following the killing of one of the Edo State Security Network commanders, One Osage, alleged to be an AA member. Information also made it known that the hoodlums made all of this town unsettled. Confirming the report, the Edo State Police said the command is sincerely and vigorously fighting this crime and wishes to put it to an end, offers for the state to be peaceful for all. To end the national news is a sports story. Antwerp midfielder Al-Hassan Yusuf has been reportedly drafted in as a replacement for Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester City midfielder Ndidi, according to reports, has been ruled out of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations due to injury. Ndidi missed Leicester City for one home win over Huddersfield Town on Monday on account of injury. Yusuf, who was on the provisional 41-man list, will now take his place in the team. The 23-year-old is now expected to link up with the team in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, today. The talented midfielder is yet to be capped by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's national news. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu closes Buhari'S single treasury account, gives directives to MDAs. Fuel marketers clash with NNPC over petrol subsidy, projects petrol at 1,200 naira per litre. Certificate fraud, FG proscribes 18 foreign universities in Nigeria. Lagos health worker allegedly injects self to death inside Surulere Hospital. We also brought to you, we visited Akeredolu'S residence because he stood against Buhari'S dictatorial power at the Banjo. On sport, Al-Hassan Yusuf to replace injured Wilfred Ndidi. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our analyst Baba Bagede Imo Television, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alari Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For other placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.